Welcome to the Political Insider. Before we kick off, make sure that you've subscribed to the channel. It'll be great to speak to you every day when we give you updates on South Africa, because you know what happens in South Africa? Corruption and maladministration and all of these kind of things, these political movements that happen in this country, they never take a break. It happens 7 days a week. So whenever you are watching it, believe me, somebody somewhere in an office is busy stealing your money and my money. Here's a good one. Something we've reported on before, but now some detail emerges. This comes from the Ministry of Finance, the Treasury itself. Our Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, he has got an organization that falls under his control called the Government Pensions Administration Agency. Basically, it's to manage their own money, government employees. So what are they going to do? These geniuses go and put 2 billion rand of government pensions money at risk by doing a deal, a lease agreement, a 10-year lease agreement. They chose a company called Shula Developers on a 10-year lease agreement. The only problem is these guys don't own the office that they are renting out. They don't have any association. They are not involved at all. But they successfully get the tender, right? And on top of it, it's a 10-year lease. The bell should have rung when they had leased offices. I nearly fell off my chair. The building is called the Brooklyn Bridge Office Park. I think they were just trying it on, saying, we've got a bridge to sell you. And these guys from the Government Pensions Agency thought it was a good idea. So anyway, they sign a 10-year lease and pay up front. This is now worth 1.2 billion, and there's escalations and all sorts of other things. Had it run its course, or had they paid even more money over, they paid 270 million rand for the refurbishment of an office that the company they're paying the money to doesn't even have access to. Now, we know that the minister himself, Enoch Godongwana, has been involved in some very dodgy dealings. He was once the MEC for Finance in the Eastern Cape. That didn't work so well, and he disappeared from public view to suddenly re-emerge as our Minister of Finance and cat in a hat. Everybody loves him. This guy before has done some really dodgy things, and we've covered it before. Well, look, he did suspend the CEO, Kedebone Madia, and 2 executives, Khaile Molobatse and Eric Marudu. They've been suspended. They seem to be the people that were most behind it. But what they can't work out is why 4 other executives that seem to be involved in the bid committee were not suspended. Myron Kutsia, Leon Nieuwoud, Mongezi and Kabisa, and Colleen Benside. They remain untouched. Now, this is, it's crazy. You would imagine you're signing such a big deal. You would do a little bit of due diligence. You'd go and see the building, surely. But no, they sign a 1.2 billion rand contract and even paid over 270 million rand. The only thing that I suppose can be said here is, thankfully, it's not necessarily taxpayers' money. It belongs to government employees. So their pension takeout is going to be a little bit less. But you know what? The ANC doesn't overly care about whose money they are dealing with, as long as it goes into a fund and ends up in their own bank accounts at some point. Not to be outdone. Not to be outdone. We can't leave you with one story. Can't fly on one wing. The Unemployment Insurance Fund. This is a fund set up so that when, in the case of a person losing their job, they can get income back. It's almost like an enforced saving for a person when you are employed. This is a fund worth 151 billion rand, and we all remember that they paid out money during COVID to help some people that were really hard hit by COVID, but they have only paid out 13% of the money that they have set aside, 13%, for employability schemes. This is where the UIF assists certain companies in financial difficulty so that they don't lay off staff. So they've got a budget, They only spend 13% of it. But they did pay out 1.2 billion rand where there's no audit trail. Now, these guys are administrators, and basically if money moves, there should be entries in a system that says they gave so much money to this one and so much money to that one. Because of this, because they get a qualified audit from the Auditor General, which means that these guys are not keeping their numbers properly, like some rural municipality, but it's the UIF. The commissioner, Tebogo Maruping, gets suspended with full pay for a year. The minister involved, somebody who we know, who wrote out, remember that employment equity detail telling you to the 10th of a person what color everybody must be, in what province and what business and what industry. This genius, our Minister of Labour, Nkosazana Meth, she's brilliant. She then says to Parliament, she had to be forced in Parliament to say how much she's given the suspended CEO, paid Tebogo Maruping 1.4 million rand to stay at home for the past year. I don't know about you, what you've been doing for the past year, but I want the job that this guy's got. Does a bad job and gets rewarded by sitting at home and getting paid over 100 grand every month of your money and my money to sit at home and watch television, I presume. It's a nice job if you can get it. I presume if you dig a little deeper, he's probably a card-carrying member, but that's the way the government rolls. Thank you so much for joining us on the Political Insider. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more news soon.